How I make 5K per client per month just by telling them what videos they should do and not actually doing the videos myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Aviv Benor. I'm a creative strategist, and over the years, I generated my clients over $5 million in revenue from my ads and strategies. I work with clients like Intel, L'Oreal, Philips Hue, Facebook, and many more. And in this video, I'm going to show you my entire process from A to Z so you can just steal it. I'm going to break it down into 3 steps. 1, what is a creative strategist? 2, why brands are willing to pay a lot of money for this service? And 3, how I do it step by step. So let's get started. So step number 1, what the hell is a creative strategist? So if you think about classic videographers and video production companies, most of them are executing on the client ideas or the agency ideas or the marketing department ideas. The problem with that a lot of times is that you are becoming a yes man. Yeah, you might be doing great work in terms of how the video look and feels, and the client might love it because now the brand looks amazing. But the question is, does that bring the client results? And most of the time, the answer is no. There are enough videographers who know how to shoot, but not enough videographers who know what to shoot. And so over the years, I realized that the first thing that I do with the client is ask them, what do they want? Because a lot of those clients just came to me, hey Aviv, my name is blah, blah, blah. My business is so-and-so. And I want a video for my website showing this and that. I realized that I was doing it naturally, but looking at it in hindsight, I understand now it's such a crucial part of how I do things. I would just stop them right there and tell them and ask them, wait a minute, why do you want it like you want it? Like, why do you want this video on your website? And why do you want this video to look like this? Some of them like, yeah, I want a testimonial video. I want a 15-second commercial. I want a commercial that looks like this or that. And I was like, wait a minute, why? And a lot of the times, the answers that I got was very surface level. Oh, just because my colleagues are doing it, I think, or I don't know, I think that's what we need, or blah, blah, blah. And I realized that they don't know what they need. They know that's the thing they want. Is it the thing they need to get to their goal? Probably not. I went through this evolution of just telling the client, wait a second, what is your business goal? Let's reverse engineer that and then create a video or videos to get you to your goal. And so a creative strategist is somebody who's not just saying yes to the client. He's somebody who helps the client get to their business goal using creative assets, videos, and images. So you can look at this as if the client was like a big ship and he wants to get to a safe harbor. It's stormy outside and they just want to get to safety. And so they bring you on board to get them to safety. And what you're doing, instead of steering the wheel in the right direction, you're just going to the engine room, pouring coal into the engine and just making them go faster. But the truth is that you're helping them go faster in the wrong direction. You need to go up to deck and just steer the wheel 20% or, 20 angles. 20 angles? Anyway, just slightly move the wheel to the right direction. And just imagine 100 kilometers down the line, the ship will go in such a different direction towards success versus just keep on doing in the same track in the wrong direction, just going harder. And so a creative strategist is somebody that's on deck, helping the client make better strategic decisions versus just saying yes as a videographer going to the wrong direction. Okay, so now the second thing is, why do brands are willing to pay so much money for this service? As I told you at the beginning, there's a lot of people who know how to shoot, not a lot of people who know what to shoot. Most of my clients are tired of their creatives and videographers they worked with. They either have an in-house team or outsourced videographers or video production companies. And clearly they haven't got to their business goal. Let that be sales, engagement, brand identity, brand recognition, whatever it is. They're failing to get there. And so they bring me to help them save the day. I'm not saying I'm a hero or anything like that, but just so you understand the picture they're in. For them, for the clients I work with, these are usually startup companies. We're talking about companies where their revenue is $500,000 plus a month. For them, paying $5K for some guy to just help them steer the wheel and get to the results they're after is a no-brainer. A lot of them are willing to pay much more for that. Now, remind you, all I do is 1 Zoom call per week and around 3 to 5 hours per week, just behind the scenes work. So even if I help them with 1%, this whole thing was worth it. Of Of course, I'm helping them with much more. Just an example, last week, I finished a pilot period with one of the startups that I started working with. So we do 3 months of a pilot period, and we set a certain goal to hit, and we hit that goal. And they were like over the roof with happiness. They were just really happy with the results. The KPI was getting them from $300 for acquisition. They pay $300 to acquire a client, and they want to bring it down. And I helped them to bring it down to around $90. So yeah, they were super happy. Anyway, clients are looking for results, and they are willing to pay a lot for someone who will bring them the results, period. Now let's talk about how I do it. I want to break it down into 5 steps. So the first step is I want to identify the client business goal. I don't want to go down the line without knowing what my end goal is, because otherwise I will just go in the wrong direction, right? And so I sit down with the client and I go as specific as possible. Is it sales? Is it engagement? Is it brand recognition? Whatever it is, I want to understand from the client what will make them happy. And I have a certain question I ask them in this stage to really help me understand that. And it goes like this. Tell me, Mr. Client, what will make you say at the end of this project, holy shit, Aviv, this was an amazing success. Let's do another one and I will pay you twice as much. And when I frame it like this, the client goes like, what will make me say that? And then they go into specifics and I go deeper and deeper and deeper. And then we create a KPI, key performance indicator. We need to have something that we can both look at the end of this process and say, we hit it, we didn't hit it. Not something that is determined by feeling. Like, I feel this video is good. I feel this campaign was good. No. We need to look at the numbers and say, we hit it, we didn't hit it. And so with sales, it's really easy, right? Like, we want to increase our sales by 20%. We want to lower our cost per acquisition by, I don't know, $20, by $50, whatever it is. With brand KPIs, it can be a bit tricky, but there are still ways around it. I'll give you an example. One of my current clients, she really wanted her image to change online. She brought me as a creative strategist to help her with the YouTube channel. She's doing like an education business. She already makes like $300K a month. But the problem is, for some reason, her reputation is not really good online because she's being very provocative. And so she brought me in, and the KPI was, after I asked her this question, was to just have positive feedbacks on her YouTube channel. And so after we worked together for 3 months, we finally got there. All of her YouTube is overwhelmingly positive. And so we did like, a final call going over everything. And she was like, yeah, we got to our goal. This was amazing. Let's do another one, right? And so then we kept on working together. And the reason we want to ask this question is to help us and the client be aligned on the same goal. So this is the first step. Identify the client business goal. The second thing is research. The number one mistake most marketers do, and honestly, I think it's business owners, is that they're trying to advertise without understanding the customer. And if there's one thing I learned throughout my whole career as a marketer, as a videographer, as a creative strategist, is that if you know the customer better than they know themselves, you can sell them anything. And of course, I don't want to use this in a bad way. I don't want to exploit this in a bad way and sell them bad things. But if I truly believe that what I'm selling is good for them, then it's a crime not to sell them whatever I'm selling or helping the client sell their services. I need to know them better than they know themselves. I believe that even a 12-year-old can make the most killer ad if they need to create an ad for themselves, selling themselves on something they want, on a toy they want. Because like they know everything. If you do this exercise with yourself, like if you needed to create an ad for yourself on some gimbal or camera or whatever it is, you would know how to create a really good ad. And so this is the reason we have to do research first. And then we create what I called an ICP document. ICP is basically ideal customer profile. What is my ideal client profile? Like, I want to know everything about them. Usually I start with like actually showing a picture in that document, giving that an actual name, and then break it down into their pain points and desires. Like, what is their current state and what is their dream state? Because every product that you're selling or helping your clients sell has one purpose, and it is to bring the customer from point A to point B. Point A being their current state where they're unhappy for whatever reason it is, to point B where they're happy. Just an example, if you're selling vacuum cleaners, point A is being that the customer's house is filthy and they want to get to point B, which is the house is clean. And so introducing the vehicle that will get them there, insert your product, the vacuum cleaner, if you get my point. And so in order to do that effectively, we have to understand point A and point B. What is the position they're at right now where they're hurting? This is their pain point. And what is their B point, the desired state they want to be in? Okay, so this is the research. So after we did the research and created the ICP document, we go into the third stage, which is actually building the content strategy. So again, we want to look at the business goal for the client and reverse engineer that into creative assets, videos and images. So the first thing is understanding what type of creative assets do we want to produce. Long form videos, short form videos, high end produced, low end produced, image, UGC ads, whatever it is. Just to give you a small tip here, different type of videos are relevant for different type of goals. For example, if my client is selling a product that needs a lot of trust, then I would want to use UGC ads, user-generated content. Low quality, self-captured, with an iPhone ads. What they do, I know a lot of you don't like it because it looks like shit, but you have to understand the psychology behind it. It increases trust in the viewer's mind, because what happened with a lot of products with high-end productions is that high-end productions look really good, but they're not believable. Like, think about it. When you go to Amazon, I don't know about you, but the first thing I do when I look at Amazon and I scroll through the product images and they look really good, I want to scroll down to the comment section and see real pictures from users who bought it and what they say about it, because I believe those comments much more than I believe the beautiful images of the product. And so UGC ads kind of like do the same. They give the viewer an authentic view of how the product looks and feels and functions and how the customers actually react to it. And so if I want to build trust for my client, I would use UGC ad with low production value, because that brings trust up. Now, if I want to strengthen the client brand image, then I will use high-end production. Because a lot of times, if you're selling a high quality product, then high quality productions can really reflect the quality of what the client is doing. And so you see my thought process. Anyway, so the first thing is, what type of creative assets do we need? The second thing is, how many assets? So in my opinion, as many as possible, because I want to test out different things. Like I'm in a realm of unknown, right? And the only one who can tell me which creative is the best is the market. Like, how they react to my creatives will tell me what creative is best. And then the third thing is, where do those assets go? Is it on ads? Is it on social? Is it on their website? Is it on articles? Where do I put my creative assets to yield the best result for my clients? And so again, when building the content strategy, we want to think of three things. What type of creative assets do we want? How much of creative assets do we need? And where each one goes. Well, let's go to the fourth stage, the production. So after you identify the goal, you did your research, and you have your content strategy, it's time to actually go produce the thing. So over here you have two options. Well, actually three options. The first option is you do it yourself. We don't want to go there because we're a creative strategist. The second option is that you use their in-house team to produce it. Or the third option, if they don't have an in-house team, you help them hire the right videographers or creative teams, whatever it is. Your goal in this stage is to oversee the whole production process. You don't need to be in the trenches or in the shooting days. You need to make sure that what you have in mind is actually what's being produced. Because at the end of the day, you're being judged on that. And for those of you who are wondering what about budgets and everything, so I break it down. I have my 5K retainer for the client, and I'm telling them this has nothing to do with the production costs. I'm not involved in the production costs. Like, you can pay $1, you can pay $1 million. I will work with what you have to give me. Of course, as a creative strategist, I will tell you the assets and roughly how much they're going to cost production-wise. But you, the client, will be the one to say how much you want to invest in this. And the fifth and final stage is optimization. So basically, we have to look at all of our creatives after they went live, and we want to understand what worked, what not, do more of what works and kill what doesn't work. Again, we want to tie it back to the original goal. Always work with the original goal in mind. For those of you who are wondering how technically I do it, so most of my work, I work with startup companies who actually run ads. And so it's very easy. I just plug into their Facebook ad account and I see everything. If you're doing projects that are not ads, like the one client that I had with YouTube, again, you need to understand at the beginning, this is in the first stage, how are you going to measure success? Because how you're going to measure success has to be aligned with the client. Like you and the client need to sit down and agree, okay, this is how we're going to measure success, because otherwise you're going to have problems down the line. So guys, to conclude this whole thing, clients are looking for results. They're not looking for beautiful looking videos. If you can do both, that's amazing. But again, outcomes, results, that's what they're looking for. And if you can bring them results, they don't care how much work you put in behind the scenes. They care for the end outcome. That's why clients don't care if I work half an hour or 1 minute or 30 hours. It doesn't matter. They care for how my actions impact their business. And this is what I want you to change in your perspective. And so if you want me to help you out with this is exactly what I do. I have an online coaching program called Film Business Master. You can just click down the link below. Anyway, go there, see everything that I do, and you can just schedule a one-on-one call with me and we can go over your business, see how I can help. Anyway, let me know in the comment if this was helpful, and see you in the next one. Yalla, bye.